Good morning and welcome to the center for the Sunday service Zooming. This is the last Sunday of the 2020 and you all are welcome to this program. Today our Dhamma talk is going to give a Venerable Pannaloka. So before that we are going to practice a little bit loving kindness meditation. So after the meditation, we will listen to the Dhamma talk. After Dhamma talk, the question and answer. The last program is going to be a chanting for the blessing for the everybody for the good health and good new year. Thank you again. Join with us right now. Reverend Chandasara is going to lead the loving kindness meditation.
Have a blessed morning to everyone. This is the time to practice loving kindness meditation. So be seated comfortably, straight, and now easily breathe in and breathe out for 3 times. If you are comfortable, you can close your eyes or remain your eyes open. And then now let's start spreading loving kindness meditation in this way. And after I finish reading, I will stop, and then in the space you can continue this loving kindness until you hear the bell sound. May all the living beings be physically healthy. May all the living beings free from external dangers. May all the living beings be psychologically happy. Let's spread loving kindness meditation in this way. Continue.
Thank you for joining with us, Loving Kindness Meditation. So right now it's time to start Dhamma talk. Today our speaker, resident monks here, Venerable Pannaloka, is his room. I think he's ready to give a Dhamma talk today. Pannaloka, right now, time for you to start your Dhamma talk. You there?
Yes, Bante, I'm here. Hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I will start Dhamma discussion right now. It's a pleasure again to see all of you. I think this is going to be the last talk for the year, and 2020 is also coming to an end, and we are just a few days behind the new year. So it's really a pleasure for me to see you all again with another Dhamma talk. My topic is going to be a little bit different, not like the way I gave it last year. But before that, I would like to share with you a quotation from one of the greatest suttas, discourses in the Digha Nikaya. In this particular section, you can find only a lengthier discourses, talks given by the Buddha. So that's why we call this particular section as Digha Nikaya. So you can find this in the translations like Dialogues of the Buddha. So in this section, you can find the Sutta, Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the discourse on the great demise of the Buddha. So when I was going through this sutta, I have found something very important to share with you today. I have used this quotation in many of my Dhamma talks. So today I think it's good to share this quotation with you. Let me first share it with you, and then I will come to my topic and I will continue my Dhamma discussion. When you go to this sutta, the discourse, the great demise of the Buddha, you can find in the fifth section, the fifth chapter of this sutta, because there are 6 chapters in this lengthier discourse. So in the fifth chapter, you can find this paragraph. And there Buddha addressing the monk, the attendant monk Ananda, says like this. Then the Blessed One spoke to the Venerable Ananda, saying, Enough, Ananda, do not grieve, do not lament, for have I not taught from the very beginning that with all that is dear and beloved, there must be change, separation, and severance of that which is born, come into being, compounded, and subject to decay. How can one say, may it not come to dissolution? There can be no such state of things. Now, for a long time, Ananda, you have served the Tathagata with loving kindness in deed, word, and thought, graciously, pleasantly, with a whole heart and beyond measure. Great good have you gathered, Ananda. Now you should put forth energy, and soon you too will be free from the taints. And this is the quotation. And when we are going through this quotation, we can find like, Buddha says like, we should not grieve, we should not lament, we should not cry. It's because everything has a beginning and everything has an end also. Separation is inevitable. And even though Buddha encourages us not to grieve, not to lament, I guess in the sense of having well-being for this present life, it's okay to grieve, only for a short period of time. I'm not talking about to continue it, but just only for a short moment, a short period of time. It says it's okay because it gives us a lot of energy, a lot of space for us to relieve our tension, right? So in that sense, I think it's okay to grieve only a very short period of time. So my topic for the Dhamma sharing today is grief in one hand and gratitude in the other, right? Just imagine the year we have spent now. I think 2020 has been incredibly challenging, and it was uncertain, and it was full of, life changes. So when we think about the way how we spent 2020, these last 12 months have totally, changed our lives more than we expected, more than we had, wished it to be at the very beginning of the year. I can remember very well when we were passing through 2019 to 2020, we practiced meditation, we did a lot of good things, and we passed our merits to our people, and we also passed our blessings to everyone, every congregation members, every being in the whole universe. But suddenly what happened is amazing, and no one had thought that 2020 is going to be another year which is full of, uncertainties. It's I think it's mainly not because of the natural disasters, the great havocs, disasters, but because of this pandemic, right? And no one had thought like it will affect everyone's life, every life on this planet Earth, like the pandemic, the COVID-19. Even though we are just behind 3 days for the new year, we are still living with new aspirations. We are still living with a lot of hopes. We are still living with new plans for the new year 2021. But the problem is that the uncertainty is still there. And no one can predict how it will be like, the tomorrow, and how it will be like the next year, new year 2021. When this COVID-19 pandemic started in China, and when it was surging throughout the whole continents, islands, countries, we never thought like it will affect our whole lives. And no one had thought like they're going to lose their jobs, they are going to lose their dear people, they are going to lose their family members, their friends, well-wishers. And no one thought like they have to stay at homes, just confined to, monotony. And no one thought like that they have to stay at homes. But I think throughout the whole world, everyone experienced, everyone witnessed this pandemic, and it was a hard time for everyone. But now I think we have. That's why I gave you the topic like grief in one hand and the gratitude in the other, right? So what is all about this grief? Now, I don't need to explain this in detail, like what is all about this grief, because everyone experienced this grief throughout the whole year 2020. Not like the other years, like 2019, 2018, but 2020 was special for every one of us. Grief is testing us in one way, and it's also healing. That's why I told you at the very beginning, like when I was presenting you that Buddha's words, Buddha's saying, we should not grieve, we should not lament, we should not cry, but for our resilience, for our growth, I think it's okay. I mean, grief is okay, only for a short period of time. But to grapple with grief and to continue it for months, for years, it's not a good thing. So I think when things fall apart, we become emotionally disturbed, and we get distressed, right? So no longer we are able to think peacefully, respond with difficult times, unpleasant situations. But anyhow, we come together, and then again and again we come together, and we fall apart. So our whole life journey is, I think, experimental. Everyone gets a different test, right? And it is not the same test we are facing. So when we are sailing through these unknown lands and this kind of turbulences, everything is ever changing. So we experienced this in 2020 a lot. With natural disasters, forest fires, mountain fires, floodings, and finally with this pandemic, COVID-19. Still, people are trying to figure out the next step and how it will be like, and what we can find for this pandemic to stop it. But I think we have learned a lot. We have experienced a lot. We have learned a lot. And looking back, we can see that we have, of course, learned a lot of good lessons. So the lessons that we learn are, it could be the health, resilience, and determinations. It is mostly about the health. because everyone was concerned about their health more than ever, right? Even though we were uncertain about this pandemic, but every time, every moment, we took steps to practice health matters, and we tried our best to continue health in our life. It was all about the same thing that we use for our breathing meditation, right? And we had to take care of a lot. That special thing, it is the breath. We had to take care of our breath because we were uncertain about what will happen to our breath if we are gonna contact this this disease, pandemic. Anyway, I think we throughout the whole year we learned good lessons. So as COVID-19 was, surging across lands, islands, great continents, far countries, what happened was our plans started to crumble. And as I told you earlier, we lost our jobs. You just imagine millions and millions of people, their lives have been devastated. They lost their jobs. And no one, many people don't have an income now, but they have to obey orders given by the cities, governments, and they have to stay at homes with their family members. But it's still, there is a problem. So what's that problem? We have to take care of our lives, right? And it is all about our sustenance. But meanwhile, what was happening was, people were losing their jobs, businesses, investments, and while some others, they lost their dear members, dear family members, friends, well-wishers. So this was the truth about our life. So the whole year was a matter of health, family, hopes, well-being, and finally the safety of our communities. So when things were happening like this, what happened was, we cried, we grieved, we lamented, and but in reality, things remain unresolved. Even though we didn't like the COVID, but it was surging. It was spreading crazily throughout the whole big continents, throughout the whole countries on this planet Earth. No one was capable enough to stop this. But finally, now we have found now some vaccines, but still people are living with a lot of uncertainties whether these vaccines can help and stop spreading this virus throughout the whole continents. Recently, when I was going through the news bulletins, I heard like another new dimension of virus is spreading from England, right? And again, the airports have to be locked down, and they still need to continue, practice lockdowns. But this is the uncertainty. Anyway, when we are now going through this 2020 to 2021, we again have to live with hopes. We again have to live with plans. We can stop this life journey, and we have to live. We need to do something. So that's why I use the topic like grief in one hand and gratitude in the other. So anyway, this was a great time for every one of us to pause, a moment and to do some deep thinking about our life, around the things in our life. And we had to reflect upon the core values in our lives. So this was a great time for us to sit a moment with these reflections and to engage in a deep reflection. Now what we should do is we have to use this grief in one way we can move forward, right? we should be able to move forward with resilience. It's enough. We cried, we lamented, and we grieved. And we were thinking about this a lot. We took a lot of time to think about this a lot. But now it's time for us to come out of this problem and to move forward. So as spiritual practitioners, how we can use the knowledge we gathered throughout the whole year 2020, right? And some people, they practice meditation. Some other people, they gave public talks, they gave enlightening talks. Some others, they listened to our talks. Some others, they did a lot of community works. Like this, you expanded your knowledge, and we experienced a lot. So how we are going to use this knowledge for 2021? It's okay to grieve for a moment, but in the next moment we have to stop, and we have to go for a resilience, and then we have to use this knowledge for better, for not for the worst, but for the better conditions of our lives, well-being in our lives. So with this in your mind, now I think it's time for us to talk a little bit more about the gratitude. So 2020, these past 12 months have created much space for our growth. So now it's for us to grow. This is a growing time. So when we are going through this 2020 to 2021, it's really a good time for us to grow. We can use that knowledge. We can use that grief. It's true that we cried, we lamented, and we were living with a lot of uncertainties. But again, we have to use this knowledge for better conditions in 2021. So that's why I told you it's a great time for every one of us to show our gratitude, especially during this time. So gratitude is an appreciation of our interconnectedness, right? It's a way of bowing our respect for intertwined lives. We are interconnected. We are mutual beings. That's why we could not stop this COVID-19, right? If we could stop this without not as a way of not coming to our houses, homes, our workplaces, work sites, we could have done this. But since we are interconnected, not only with our family members, but with our friends, well-wishers, even in our work sites, in educational places, schools, colleges, hospitals, we interact with everyone. We mix with everyone. So that's why it was very, very hard for us to stop this pandemic. But meanwhile, some others they were practicing some kind of negligence. I think even though the government officials, health officials, they were giving a lot of health instructions, but I think some others, they did not practice this. But still, we had to live with these people, even though they did not practice this. We still had to practice health matters. So while we were staying at homes, we tried our best to practice these health matters. But unfortunately, sometimes we were exposed to this great pandemic, this disaster. I think it's all not because of I think this pandemic, but when we think about the way how we spent 2020, we did experience a lot of as the way I told you, a lot of havocs, disasters, and also political instability. Again, it was again just like a global pandemic. I'm not talking about the COVID-19, but it was also just like a global pandemic. It is the racism, right? And the people they came to roads and they were protesting for their lives, saying like Black Lives Matters. And it was again just like a pandemic. Anyway, I think whatever the way we spent this 2020, now it's time for us to show our gratitude to everyone, every living beings, and every movable and unmovable things also. So gratitude, if we can use grief and again the gratitude can gladden our hearts, right? Our gratitude should go for the breath within our breast also, because we are living with this breath, this breath, breathing. So we have to use this breathing even for our enlightenment. So when we sit in a particular place to practice the anapanasati, breathing meditation, we use this breath. So it has that much a value, and that's why we took care of a lot during this pandemic, and we loved our lives a lot. So with this, I think even though Buddha reminded us, educated us not to grieve, not to lament, but we did it. We learned a lot. We learned a lot of good lessons, and now it's time for us to, since we are just 3 days behind the new year, it's time for us to go to the 2021, another new year, but we have to show our gratitude to everyone now. It's time for us to show our gratitude to everyone. Let me again remind you that saying of the Buddha, and there Buddha, while he was reminding, he was educating his followers, not only the bhikkhus, monks, his words were for everyone of us. So he said that because the monk, the attendant monk Ananda, he was lamenting a lot, he was crying a lot, because he was living with a lot of good memories, a lot of pleasant memories with the Buddha, wherever the Buddha went, and this attendant monk was also there. And he was lamenting a lot, he was crying a lot, because the Buddha was getting ready for his great demise, right? That's why he reminded, like, do not grieve, do not lament, for how I not taught from the very beginning that with all that is dear and beloved, there must be change. We just think about our family members, our friends, our jobs, our education, and all the beloved things we did in our lives. Buddha says like this, there is a change. There is an uncertainty. Every time, in every moment, there is uncertainty. There is separation. No one can stop this. So, of that which is born, come into being, and compounded and subject to decay, how can one say, may it not come to dissolution? Things happen, but there is resilience. That's why we need to use the grief, and we need to use the gratitude. And finally, after these words, Buddha showed his gratitude to his attendant monk Ananda, because this attendant monk, we call this monk like attendant monk. Why? Because he helped Buddha a lot. He supported the Buddha a lot. And whatever the things Buddha wanted, this monk Ananda, he helped him a lot. He supported him a lot. He was a dear person to Buddha throughout his whole life. And finally, Buddha showed his gratitude, saying to Ananda like this, now for a long time, Ananda, you have served the Tathagata. Here Buddha mentions about himself like Tathagata. Every time Buddha speaks about himself, he mentions like Tathagata. Tathagata means the Buddha. Now for a long time, Ananda, you have served the Tathagata with loving kindness in deed, in actions, right? Word and thought, graciously, pleasantly, with a whole heart and beyond measure. Great good have you gathered. You have done a lot of good things. You have accumulated a lot of skillful things, meritorious deeds. So Ananda, you should put forth energy. Even though you helped me a lot, you supported me a lot. Now it's time for us to, it's time for you to practice meditation. Use the meditation. and soon you too will be free from taints, kilesas. And that's the way you can show your gratitude to me. And Buddha also showed his gratitude to Ananda, reminding his like, it's time for you to practice meditation now, because now I'm ready to go. I'm ready to leave this world. I'm done with my job. I'm done with my duties. I have come to an end of my life, this circle of birth and death. Now it's time for you to practice meditation and attain the enlightenment, arahantship. So with this, I think it's time for me to stop the Dhamma sharing. Maybe you have learned a lot during this 2020, and that's why I told you, we everyone, including myself, we everyone grieved, cried, lamented, and we were living with a lot of uncertainties. And it's again for us to use this gratitude to our uncertainties. We learned a lot, and we grew a lot during this 2020. And even though we are moving from 2020 to New Year 2021, we still have to live with a lot of hopes, aspirations, expectations, and plans, because we are human beings. We have to do a lot of things. And if you have the courage and the determination, you can go for the resilience. No one can stop you. Even this pandemic, even this great disaster pandemic, COVID-19, it is horrible. It is horrible. But even though it's horrible and it can cause a great damage, if you are still living with a lot of gratitude and resilience, no one or nothing can stop your journey. And that was my essence of my talk. And it's time for me to stop the Dhamma sharing, allowing you for your Q&As. But before that, let me share with you a gratitude. And I'm really grateful to all of our congregation members and the listeners who participated in this Dhamma series, in this series of talks during this 2020. I'm so sorry we were unable to continue this service only for a few months, but thanks to Zoom, thanks to those who created the Zoom. And we used the Zoom online service to offer our Sunday service to our congregation members. So whoever, the Dhamma speakers, listeners, your family members, whoever helped to continue our IBMC services, we are grateful to every one of you. We pass our merits, we pass our blessings to every one of you. So this is the time for me to show my gratitude to you. And during this 2020, I gave several talks. So every time I saw there were a lot of people and they were participating in this in these talks, and they learn a lot. They question, and sometimes they have told me like, Bante, we have asked you some questions and you have answered our questions, and we have learned a lot. So my gratitude for you is we need to still live with new hopes, new aspirations, expectations, and plans, so that we can use our meditation, our knowledge, our Dhamma knowledge, and your life experiences through this, especially through this COVID-19. And with this short gratitude, I will conclude my Dhamma sharing. And then if you have some questions, thoughts, it doesn't have to be necessarily a question, even though, but if you have some comments, please feel free to share with the members here. With gratitude, I remember the people, animals, plants, insects, creatures of the sky and sea, air and water, fire and earth, all whose joyful exertion blesses my life every day. With gratitude, I remember the care and labor of 1,000 generations of elders and ancestors who came before me. I offer my gratitude for the safety and well-being I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the blessings of this earth I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the blessings of this earth I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the measure of health I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the family and friends I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the community I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the teachings and lessons I have been given. I offer my gratitude for the life I have been given. May you be joyful. May your happiness increase. May you not be separated from great happiness from your family members. May your good fortune and the causes for your joy and happiness increase. I use these lines for gratitude from the book The Art of Forgiveness, Loving Kindness and Peace by Jack Cornerfield, and you can find this on the page 134 to 135. And that's it I have to share with you today. And thank you so much for your presence in this Dhamma sharing in this talk. And it's time for you to ask your questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pannaloka. Your great talk. And is anybody have any question? Come on, it's time to ask right now.
It seems like no one has any questions. Wonderful.
You're not on.
Thank you for your talk, and I'm glad Chanting and I were able to make it today.
Thank you, Reverend Shraddha.
Go to your message. Shraddha, I got your message.
Reverend Chanti, what did you say?
I say I got your message.
Oh, okay. Well, I was wrong. The Zoom thing is next Sunday, not today.
Oh. All right, no
so
problem.
remember that message for next week, okay?
Okay, no problem. Take care, okay?
We're all getting confused during this time.
That's the way end of the year.
Okay, go ahead, Russell. It seems like you have a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Bante. I was wondering, because you're from Asia, is there any? Do you think there's a difference between the way the COVID have? How would you say it? People respond in Asia and in the West. When I go online, I see so many Americans going to parties and shopping malls and all this kind of thing without masks. And I don't think it just seems quite different than what would take place in other places. So I'm just curious from your observation and from your people you know, and even in your own country, how do people, how do people adapt their lives? Maybe that some lessons we could learn here.
Right. So my experience about this COVID pandemic, how it was spreading in my country in Sri Lanka is different from here, right? Because it's all about the ignorance. I think in Sri Lanka, a lot of people, they are living with ignorance about this pandemic, and they are experimenting a lot of, not the vaccines, some kind of, medications for the COVID. But finally, I saw it like, it has become again a political game. And like here, they turn it just like a political game. And but the common people, the common communities, they are still living with a lot of uncertainties. Some people, they are trying to find some medications. Some people, they are trying their best to practice the health matters. But in Sri Lanka, you know, Russell, earlier, I think just before October, we had only 11 deaths and very few patients. But now it has risen up to 35,000 patients and more than 35,000 patients and more than 157 deaths during 2 months after last October. So, but the government, they are trying their best to, you know, stop this spreading this pandemic throughout the whole country. But I think many people, they are living with a lot of ignorance, and they don't know much about the pandemic. But everyone has a concern for this pandemic, COVID-19. But even in Sri Lanka, I don't know much about the other Asian countries. In Sri Lanka, and this may be the same thing even in other countries. And political leaders, they are using this as a political game. And when it comes to America, and it's the same, right? And we should have stopped spreading this COVID throughout the whole continent, but we couldn't. And still people are dying. It's a very sad news. But finally, they found a vaccine. And my understanding is, my final my conclusion is, while this has become a political game, this is still a life matter, a matter for others' life.
Yeah, because, you know, Sri Lanka has such close ties with China, so maybe that's an advantage, because they will be able to get the Chinese vaccine, because I think China is trying to help countries that they have good relations with.
Yeah, I think the Sri Lankan government, they are trying to take some help from not only from China, but from all the other, you know, highly developed countries, because people can trust only one vaccine, and they are still trying to, you know, bring vaccines from highly developed countries. But it's very sad, because in Sri Lanka, the politicians, they are playing games with people's lives, and they don't care about the people's lives. They are highly concerned about the elections. That's my answer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. It's a good answer. I agree with you.
Thank you. Thank you for taking on the ghost. Yeah, because since we two are far from the same country, we know a lot about Sri Lanka and what's going on in Sri Lanka. Yes, and finally, I want to share with you again. You participated in this series of talks with different speakers, and we are thankful to every one of you. We show our gratitude. And since you are moving from 2020 to 2021, we bless you. We pass our merits to your lives, your family members, your friends, your well-wishers. And we also wish much peace and much health for 2021. And my gratitude for you is, please live with a lot of resilience, and no one can stop our journey. We still have to do a lot of things. And thank you so much. It seems like no one has any questions, and any questions
thank
given in the chat.
Thank you, Pannaloka. Thank you for everybody. So I have to say a few words. 2020 is going to finish, and 2021 is coming soon. Basically, December 31st, we are doing meditation and chanting we used to do. In this time, we are not going to do anything, but we are going to bless for everybody to be a good health, good new year. By the power of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha, you all be well and happy. Again, I want to thanks for everybody. This whole year, there are so many different Dhamma teachers giving Dhamma talk, and so many our members are listening the Dhamma talk. We're doing through the Zoom, and we don't know how long we're going to do through the Zoom. I hope maybe within a couple of months we can open the temple. I hope. If not, we are practicing everything through the Zoom. Again, the next Sunday, which is January 3rd, I believe, Dhamma Talk is going to give Nepalese Dhamma teacher Silas Maharjan. It's going to be a first Sunday of the January 3rd. It's going to give a Dhamma talk, Silas Maharjan. The second Sunday, I believe Kusal is going to give a Dhamma talk. And the third is Chandan, Bhikkhu Chandan is going to give a Dhamma talk. So it will come in our Facebook, everything. So again, I want to say thanks for everybody, good health for all the monks, for all our members, and everybody in this world. We wish for good, happy New Year for everybody. We can see a little bit clear picture in 2021 because pandemic, I believe, is going to go little bit far away because of the a lot of vaccine come in different countries making. So we wish for everybody good health, happy new year. And we're going to chant the page 4 and page 10. And again, thank you for everybody being with us. We're going to chant right now.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Saranam gacchami, dhammam saranam gacchami, sangham saranam gacchami. Sentient beings are numberless. I vow to save them all. Deluding passions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them all. Dharma gates are limitless. I vow to study them all. Buddha's way is supreme. I vow to attain it. Once be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and the sick find health relief. Sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata, sabba buddhanubhavena sada sati bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata, sabba dhammanubhavena sada sati bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakhantu sabba devata, sabba sanghanubhavena sada sati bhavantu te. Yakha bhutanam papaggaha nivaranam paretassanubhavinam hantu te san upadavim. Mani Padme Om.
Again, thank you for everybody. By the power of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, you all be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.